Support from the city. Are there any Bowling Green City Commissioners here with us today? She's here because she's my favorite. That's not weird because we're married. For those of you who don't know. We have received incredible support from the Housing Authority of Bowling Green Board of Directors. Are there any folks on the Board of Directors here among us today? Would you guys? We've also received some tremendous support from the Rote Board of Directors. Are there any folks on that board here among us today? We're also privileged to welcome several representatives from the Housing and Urban Development Department. Would you stand and be recognized? We're very grateful that you're here among us. Thank you for being here. And finally, this project would absolutely not happen if not for Western Kentucky University and the tremendous MBA students that guided us along the way when we had great ideas but not a lot of know-how. So organizations, among others, but three main organizations that have sort of led the charge. The first, obviously, the Housing Authority of Bowling Green. So if there are staff members from the Housing Authority here, would you stand and be recognized? We very much appreciate two congregations, including First Christian Church, the Disciples of Christ of Bowling Green. So if you're a member of that congregation, would you stand and be recognized, please? And near and dear to my heart, some fantastic folks. Not that all the rest of you aren't fantastic folks, but I know these folks a little bit better. The staff of Broadway United Methodist, would you stand and be recognized, please? And the congregation, if you would, please. I mentioned before that this was a number of organizations that have come together. We've met over the course of many months, and so if you have been on that team, on that committee, would you stand and be recognized for your great work over the course of many months, please? We're very privileged to not have these folks.
A couple of weeks ago when I spoke with Abraham, I said, Abraham, I think I have a meeting in Washington. I'm not going to be able to get there. And he looked and sounded so disappointed. And I told my staff, okay, let's see, is there anything we can do to rework my schedule so I can be there, because I really, really want to be there for this. And, you know, I believe in the power of prayer, and so it worked itself out, so I was able to come here today. Many of you I had the opportunity to meet when I came for the opening of the Envision Center, which was an amazing event. But you know, within a very short period of time, Mr. Abraham, he's full of energy, and his mind is constantly working to see how he can even better himself and better opportunities for the people that he serves. And just looking at this room, you know, the group here, all of the groups that were mentioned here, nobody but an Abraham Williams could bring this group together. And I told him I wouldn't talk about him bad today, but he really has been blessed with the ability to get people around an idea and around a goal and a group. And I want to commend all of you all for your efforts, for your work in achieving the goals. We at HUD, and under the direction of Dr. Carson, really are pushing to try and treat the whole person. It's not just a matter of giving them a house. Just giving them a house doesn't, you know, help them in the long term or help their trajectory. Help them to get to a better way of living and a better way of life. But all the things that they're doing here through the Envision Center and now through the mobile grocery store, all of those things help make the lives of people better. So each of you who have had a part in that, I want to thank you. And I want to tell Abraham, please keep going. When I was in Rome, Georgia a few days ago, and with the housing authority there, and they are doing some really good things, and I told them I'm going to Bowling Green. They're like, Bowling Green? Abraham Williams? Oh my God, we love him. We went down there to learn about some of the programs that they're doing, and so his outreach is even beyond Kentucky. But I want to thank Abraham for what he's doing, for the work that he's doing, for his goal and dream to better the lives of other individuals, not believing that it's about him. It's never about him. It's always about the people that he serves. And so I want to thank him for that. I want to thank Mildred, his wife, for putting up with him. and giving him energy. He may be draining her energy, but giving him the energy and ability to move forward with the work that he's doing. But Abraham, you will always have our support, and as long as I'm here as regional administrator, whatever you're doing, you can absolutely count on our support with anything that you're doing.
Save some money.
Well, maybe not anything. But within our control, we're going to do whatever we can to support you. And thank you for what you're doing. And thank you, Bowling Green. I feel like this is part of my family because, you know, I come when you all call, and but thank you all for what you're doing. Thank you for being a wonderful community. And God's blessings on all of you, not just the mobile grocery store, but whatever the next venture is. I'll be back. Thank you.
Abraham. We were at Broadway, last May, March, something, last year, the spring, and Adam asked Abraham to come and share with us as we were having hard conversations, and he says in front of our congregation, in front of our group, that we need a grocery store in the west end of town. And so, here we are, yeah. And so since then, we've been meeting with several people that are here in this room. I think Jason had asked us to stand earlier on trying to find ways that we can bring affordable access to groceries here to the neighbors that are in this food desert. And we have looked at everything. We looked at actual storefronts. We have tried to figure out all kinds of models. And the one thing that we found while we were meeting is that not only is there not the access to affordable groceries, but for the folks here in these areas of town, there's also a problem with transportation to the grocery store. So even if you had a grocery store, how would folks get there? And so one of the things that we thought of was like, well, hey, what if we do this like food, like the ice cream truck method? Abraham talked about, you know, when he grew up back in the 20s. What happens when you give me a microphone? Yes, when he grew up in the 20s, that this was a thing, how, you know, there were carts and things things that would bring groceries around through the areas in the neighborhoods. And so we were like, well, why can't we do this again? And so this is sort of how the food truck, the mobile grocery, came about. It's like we're going to put a grocery store on wheels, and we are going to drive it through the areas of town that have trouble with access to affordable groceries. You know, we have the bus system here, and we're like, well, we have this bus system, and that's great, and people can just hop on the bus. But that's not really the case. A lot of the people that live in these neighborhoods, there's the bus system is just one more thing. And then once you do get on there, it's not as easy as it looks. And so one of the things that I did was a couple weeks ago, I hopped on the bus. Actually, I caught the bus stop that's like right here. And I rode the bus to Walmart just to see what it entailed for the neighbors that are struggling with transportation to affordable access of groceries, what it would be like. And so we are going to show you a quick video of what it was like for me to leave here, to go to Walmart, and to come back. So enjoy.
Someone who lives nearby, a neighbor that we want to love well, Miss Sharon Harold. Would you please welcome her?
Sharon Harold, and I live at 231 Carpenter Court, apartment C. And I came in here since 1995. And there has been a lot of progress with housing. And thank Abraham for letting me live here. And it's been a blessing because there's the hospitality that we have seniors, and we participate in a lot of programs. And the thing is that with this mobile unit thing is to help the people here to buy groceries when they need it. My neighbor next door, she said that she would get some money and that she would buy something from the bus to buy the groceries to what she needs. And I check on her, and we check on each other as neighbors, and we have love for each other. And it's just been a blessing to live here. And I don't know, it's just been a lot. And I hope that you open up your hearts and help with the program to help it work for the near future, because after I leave this world, I want it to continue. Okay. I came in here since 1995, and Abraham and the program and the workers and everything has worked very hard to try to keep it going. But this mobile unit is to help people to have food in their house. And that way they don't go hungry. And I know when I cleaned for housing, and I went and cleaned, and I've seen a lot of people didn't have food in their refrigerator. And I felt like they was hungry. And that's why my goal is to see that people have some food. And if I have some food at home, I want to share what I have. So, and this, with the groceries going, it would really help a lot of people. And I love you all, and God be with you. Thank you.
Ms. Sharon, I'm so grateful that that you love your neighbor well, and that's why each of us are here in this room, to love our neighbor well. So thank you so much for sharing that. One of the folks in our community who, for me, really personifies loving their neighbor is the senior pastor at First Christian Church Disciples of Christ, Reverend Megan Houston. So would you welcome her, please?
Thank you, Ms. Sharon, for sharing. We thought it was really important for Ms. Sharon to tell her story, because it's one thing to talk about issues in our community, and it's another thing to get to know our neighbors and their stories. And so Ms. Sharon was saying this is the largest crowd that she's spoken to, and thank you. You did a great job. We're really grateful. So we've heard a little bit about what the problem is, and I get to do the fun part of talking about the solution here in Bowling Green. When my husband and I moved to Bowling Green, I'm married to someone who is sort of a farmer, gardener type, and when we moved to Kentucky, he said he was so excited because Kentucky is known as being one of having some of the most fertile soil in the entire country. So when I started learning that we had a desert in Bowling Green, this was a really sharp contrast from what I know about my community. So what we know is a food desert is a place that lacks access to fresh fruit, vegetables, and other whole foods at an affordable cost. Now, I have to break it down, and so something that maybe you can take home with you, if you could go to the next slide, is, go ahead to the next one, is just thinking about a gallon of milk. So if you were a resident of this neighborhood, the closest place to buy a gallon of milk is going to be a convenience store, and it's going to cost you about $3 to purchase a gallon of milk here. Now, you might have noticed in Megan's awesome video, I think you did some of that editing, Jason, and you get good props for that, that at Walmart, the milk costs, what, 98 cents? So it doesn't really make sense that in our low-income communities, they are being charged the highest rates for basic necessities like milks and eggs and bread and things like this. So the next slide we show our mobile grocery store, we estimate we will be able to sell a gallon of milk for about $1.30. Now you might be asking, that's good news. So you might be asking why we're not selling it for 98 cents. We have a slight markup because we want this to be sustainable for this community. So our hope is that we are going to fundraise to get this project started, and then it will become sustainable. Our church does a lot of food ministry. We have a food pantry. We've donated toiletries to the seniors at the Housing Authority. But this is really, instead of a hand out, it's a hand up. And really an opportunity to see transformation in our community. So there was a survey, about 90 residents were surveyed, and 95% of our residents said that they would shop at the mobile grocery store. So we think that it is a need that is going to, something that's going to meet the needs in this community. Go ahead to the next slide. So, what will the mobile grocery store have on it? We are going to have things like milk, bread, eggs, fresh and canned fruits and vegetables, just basic things that you keep on your shelves at home. We'll also have toiletries and common household items. But I have to say, one of the things I'm most excited about is that the community garden that is here at the Housing Authority, those fresh vegetables will be sold too. So imagine a summer in Kentucky without a homegrown tomato. I can't imagine it. Or a spring or fall without fresh kale or greens from the garden. I cannot wait to see that fresh produce being sold at an affordable cost in these different neighborhoods throughout the community. So go ahead to the next slide. I was really impressed. I want to recognize the MBA students. This is their PowerPoint that I've sort of pared down. They've really been studying the ins and outs of this mobile grocery store. They have a route schedule already planned. The next slide, I think the next slide really tells the story. I found out about this from Abraham also. You're in trouble if you find yourself in a room with Abraham because you never know what he'll get you into. But you might think the mobile grocery store is just for the community at the Housing Authority. But something that really spoke to me, our church does Meals Inc. Probably some of you here participate in Meals Inc. serving hot meals on Saturday mornings. The bus route is going to go all across our community, not just in the Housing Authority, but some of the most impacted areas that people are experiencing poverty in Bowling Green and Warren County. So when I saw this map, I was especially inspired because these are the same places that we're delivering hot meals on Saturdays. So this is just another way we are going to support our brothers and sisters who are living in poverty. So go ahead to the next slide. I think this is the end. I just wanted to say, if you're a pastor or someone who works for a church, would you raise your hand or stand? Thank you. I am so inspired and grateful for the pastors and ministry teams that are supporting this project. As a local pastor, I think this is what the body of Christ looks like in action, is coming together to serve our community. I love that this is not just a ministry of First Christian Church or Broadway Church or any other church in town, that we are partnering with the public school system that donated our bus, and we are partnering with United Way, who's also supporting this project, and we are partnering hopefully with many of you in this room, because we know that when we see a problem in our community, that real transformation happens when we come together in partnership. So I just want to say thank you to each of you for being here today. If you have more questions, will the business students stand up again? I think we have some business folks in our room today. If you have questions about our business plan, I would encourage you to talk to one of them at some time today. But I just want to say thank you for being here today, and thank you for the ways that you are supporting the mobile grocery store that I know is going to transform this community.
Thank you, Megan. Megan shared a little bit about how we came to decide what the mobile grocery would have on it. And we took a survey and crunched some numbers, but there was one dissenting, sort of strong voice in the room who demanded that there be cornflakes on the bus. Cornflakes, because cornflakes were near and dear to his heart. He told us stories of, as a young man, how cornflakes was the beginning of a good day. And so, Mr. Abraham, I hope you're having a good day. You're helping us have a good day. I want to invite you forward to share maybe about a little bit something besides cornflakes, but please welcome Mr. Abraham Williams.
Thanks for that. Don't look like John Boy. My hair used to be like curly until I got married. How y'all doing? All right. Boy, so it's good to see. Man, I ain't seen this many folks since I got out of jail. Thank y'all so much for coming. I swear some of you got to go back to work. It's gonna be real quick. You know, it's nothing like a free lunch. Who all enjoyed the lunch? Yes. Yeah. Now y'all need to pay for it. Dr. Martin Luther King said that everybody can be great because everybody can serve. Man, this is a pretty picture here to look at our community. First of all, the HUD staff, raise your hand. Good. Denise, stand up. Boy, she opened casket clean, didn't she? Good God, man, thank you, Denise. And again, Denise, because of Denise, we became an Envision Center. A lot of people say, well, why can't you use some HUD money? Frank, yo, stand up. Ah, it takes too long. I know. But anyway, the reason we don't use HUD money for some of this stuff is because Big Frank, that's a big old man. I have to shoot him low. But again, we cannot use certain money to do certain things. The Western students, thank y'all God so much for your intelligence and bringing things. Curtis Blake got 3 first names, Curtis Blake Jones. But you talking about smart, that guy is smart. And he just makes you seem ignorant sometimes, Reverend Brown. Well, Mr. William, I don't think the calculation will fit with the recollections and that. Tell me how much it costs. That's all y'all want to know. Right, Curtis Blake Jones? Thanks so much. Am I my brother's keeper? We are. Am I my brother's keeper? No. I go home sometime and I just look around and I got a beautiful wife. Major, stand up. After you lucky. Stand up. That's my wife, Major. 47 years. I gotta go to heaven, Chris. I gotta go to heaven. Work Abraham. That's St. Mary. Since we got so many ministers in here, will y'all please pray for my wife? She curses all the time. Mayor, just be quiet, okay? How this happened was, Adam invited me to the church, and again, I'm walking in the church, and I thought they was going to feed me, but they started eating at 6 o'clock. He told me to come at 6:45, so I didn't get nothing to eat. So we get up on top of the stage, Reverend Brown. I thought that was something. He looked like Chris Como, and I'm looking like Ed Bradley all the time. I got on some pretty socks, and he have no socks on at all. But again, we sit there and we start talking. They ask, well, Abraham, what can we do to help you? So I told him, but I thought it wouldn't go any place. You know, because a lot of times, ministers ain't just talking, deacons and ushers, I'm talking to y'all too. Sometimes when people talk, they just talk to be talking. But not this church. Not Broadway United Methodist Church. 2 weeks later, Adam was at my office and he said, hey, what can we do about this? And then Megan, First Christian, came and said, Abraham, how can I help? Until you have to catch that bus or walk down to the junior food store and you pay $3 for a gallon of milk and your cornflakes cost about $4 almost. And then you got to walk back home and imagine it's 9 degrees, or imagine it is cold, or imagine it's raining. And you got to walk back home, and just think you got 2 kids with you. If you got to catch the bus, you got to pay $4 to get over there. $2 to get over there and $2 back, and you spend almost 3 hours. Some of you might feel like I do sometimes. I walk home, and I just say, I'm blessed. God, I ain't got to worry about my lights on or gas on. I've got groceries in my refrigerator. I got a bed to sleep in. I got a beautiful family at home. A lot of our people don't have this here at Bowling Green. A lot of them. Am I my brother's keeper? We are. What I'd like to share with you is, this was a dream of ours, to make it work. You all can make it a reality. We've got ministers who call, and I'm going to put a couple of them on the spot. Reverend Brown, stand up. He got on his third Sunday communion suit. I don't want you to talk too loud, but will you turn around and tell how much you're going to donate to us today?
We made a commitment of $2,000.
All right. Now, this is a little small church. Reverend Collins, I see you back there. You want to wave at me? You brought some money with you? You want to make it a secret or you want to say it loud? I think you got to do, Reverend Brown, because you're younger.
I'll keep it a secret.
We have levels. You have your card. We have different levels that we're asking people to give. And I'm not going to put anybody on the spot. Except Danny Coffey.
He's not here, he left.
That coat Danny have on now, I used to own it, but I gave it to the Salvation Army about 10 years ago. But we have all levels. You see the levels of what we're trying to go. Whatever you can give. One lady just stopped me back here, Miss White stopped me, she said, Abraham, what we're going to do is, I'm going to get some friends, and for $350, I'm going to ask everybody for 300 of my friends ask for $1 a piece, so we can give you that to operate one day. Miss White, thank you so much. But I know your husband. Tell him to one of them calls and give us a few dollars more. I'd like to introduce a couple of people to you. Danny and Lori. Danny Carruthers. Come on around, Danny. I don't care how much you dream and hope, you got to become a reality. Danny is going to be our driver. Danny's going to be our guy on the... Giving back to this community for years and years and years. Nothing happens just by accident. I think if you pray first and put the Lord first, things are going to work out. Come around, Lori. Lori is Danny back up. And Danny don't curse like my wife, but Danny had to take that CDL test. Danny cussed everything. I almost passed that sucker. But Danny is a good man. Been volunteering with the House Authority for the last 18 years. Dan and Lori, thank y'all so much. And also Glenn, who would help us out. If anybody really want to raise a hand and give us a $3,000 donation, I won't stop you. Anybody? 2,000? I saw my friend Sandy Jones. Sandy, you don't lay your head down. I can't see you. You're short. But But we have some ladies at the end of it, when you walk out, to collect your money. And again, nothing is too small. Am I my brother's keeper? Saying, why in the world you keep saying that? Am I? Will you pick somebody up and take them to Walmart on a regular basis? And the answer is probably no. You do it every now and then. The kids will come and sometimes take their parents on Fridays and Saturdays, but Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all of us, let me tell you about my wife. I need to stop talking about Mildred. Mildred got sick and I don't cook that well. I hate going to the grocery store. So all of a sudden, like most of you all, she just get the app, go into Walmart or Kroger, and when you get there, all you can do is pull up and they'll put the groceries in your car. If you talking about that ain't a blessing, that's a blessing. Say okay. That's a blessing. But how many of our people have that ability to do that? Not many. And Lord work with our seniors every day. I'm not going to prolong because I know some got to go back to work. Tommy Hunt, he just wanted to give me some money so bad today. I gave him 3 sandwiches. So Tommy, thank you. Don't forget to check. I'm sorry. 1,000? Good God Almighty, ain't the Lord good? Anybody else? Anybody else want to just raise their hand? That's all right. Sandy Jones, how much you say?
That's your Tommy over here.
I don't want to let a little show woman I do me. Anybody else? Well, I tell you, but watch this. Where's Michael Browder? I can't see him. Michael Browder. He's sort of short guy with a suit on with a bald head. Stand, Mike.
Do I have to?
You have to. Michael's our friend from the HUD office, and super guy. You gonna? I can't hear you. I didn't hear you.
Yes, I am. Yes, I have.
That's another one. And Mike has donated already to Max Sandy. Oh, man, you look so pretty in that green. $1,000. Lord have mercy. Man, that's full. I forgot to tell you our goal is 40,000, so we about 5,000. We about. Don't push it. Or your husband. But that's all right. When he goes to sleep tonight, just write the check out. Anybody else want to just raise a hand? Marshall Graydon, next number you say how much?
1,000.
Good God Almighty. Woo! Who counting over there? Anybody else?
I'll do 1,000 as well.
Oh, well, I can't. What's your name again?
Derek Hall.
You all gonna make me sing a song, y'all. Keep no. Since you said that about the auction, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Miss Lady said she was do 1,000. What happened? She got about 5 pair of red bottom shoes that we were red bottoms too. Ain't got no mud on them, Frank, but these red bottoms. Anybody else? I swear.
I should never had that money just got get smaller.
Anybody else? Because I swear. Tom, represent. Come on, you out in the district. Come on, represent. Huh?
I believe I could probably help out to do a whole day sponsor.
That's good enough. Thanks so much, Tom. Any other churches? Dan Coffey with that gray suit on that I left at the Salvation Army? I didn't hear you.
I'll do it though.
Anybody else? I see some good stuff. Well, I look over there and everybody dropping their head. Anybody else? Cut it all. We got what, like 9,000? 9. If anybody else want to give, please, we have some ladies out front. Or they can mail it back to the House Authority Bowling Green. Stand up, Katie.
Katie.
This is Katie who, I'm supposed to be her boss, but her and Mitchell boss me around all the time. But Katie, thank for all the work you do. Anybody else? Anybody? I I'm not looking at you for that. I was just saying hi. I'd like a minister if they can come close out with prayer, but that's right, 2 minutes. I ain't seen a minister with a wig on in a long time. It's gotta be a wig. It's just got this Dana Beasley Brown. Thank you all so much. Again, Jason, thank you all for coming. These are our bags, so just in case somebody wants to sponsor the bag, so we can get 200 for $382. So a lot of times the people need something to put the groceries in to take it back. So, yes, ma'am. You will volunteer. Let's be the time.
Let's appreciate Mr. Abraham one more time. Not too much, though. Not too much. He doesn't need it. We're so grateful that you've joined us today. For those of you who are able, we will be offering some tours of the mobile grocery bus right out here. So if you're able to stick around for a little bit and take a look at the mobile grocery, we would love to have you do that. But our time together is done. Thank you once again. For those of you that made some commitment, the door is locked until we have your check. But no, we're really grateful that you were here. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.